Freddy, ¿cómo andas?
Bien.
¿Cuándo va a parar esta lluvia?
Bien.
Nunca va a parar. Sí, esta lluvia es pésimo, es peor. Pero, ¿todo está bien? Bueno, nos vemos en un rato. This is how it all gets started. You come here once, you come here twice, and then you find yourself never leaving. Every day that I'm here, I have that feeling more and more that I'm going to have to figure out a way not to leave, even though I'm going to begin work in January. Unfortunately, I've only got a few more months left before I start work. I'm really enjoying this time off. I just graduated from Harvard Business School in May, and I'm taking advantage of this break as much as I can. As I said, this is my 4th time here, but I still remember the very first time I came here. It was quite hysterical because the image of Colombia in the U.S. isn't always necessarily as positive as it has been for me. The image of the U.S. that I expected when I got off the plane is that I should be watching out for kidnappers or some kind of dangerous event to occur, but instead the only thing that greeted me was this gorgeous Colombian girl who I met while I was traveling in the Caribbean who invited us out here for the first time to come visit. And I haven't been able to stop visiting since. And the reason that I keep coming back to Colombia, and the thing that I've loved by far the most, is by far the people. The people have been so open, so incredibly nice, so inviting. I still remember the very first trip that I came out here. We, 2 girls had invited a couple of my friends and I to come visit. And the first time we came out here, they invited us to one of their sister's weddings. She was getting married outside Cartagena. And of course, Cartagena was this beautiful city. The wedding was gorgeous. We get there, there's only 50 close friends and family and us, the 3 random gringos. But the wedding could not have been more fun. We had an absolute blast. One of the things that I definitely learned about that night was aguardiente, which I think is one of the most dangerous things that I found in this country. But the other thing that I found that made me really laugh that night was just amazed was how as soon as the music started, there was not a single person who was not dancing. And in the US, it just doesn't happen that way. As a gringo, we just don't have that rhythm. We don't have those Latin hips. Kind of like Shakira, my hips don't lie, but the truth is quite terrible, I promise you. This past weekend, for example, I had my first chance to go out and play some tejo. We went out into the countryside, and this is a game that I find just completely hysterical and completely different from anything that I've ever played in the United States. The other thing that I'm just very impressed by in Colombia, and I've had the fortunate opportunity, is to travel around this country, just the immense variety of activities and things there are to do, and how open still the people are in every part of this country. I've had the chance to go to places like San Gil and do the rafting adventures and do the torrentismo, the parapiente. It was an absolute blast. And then I've had a chance. Cartagena was beautiful. Medellin, the people could not be nicer. I really enjoyed the paisas and how they all say pues before everything. I still haven't figured out how to understand the costeñas. I'm still working on that. That's a version of Spanish that's quite difficult for me at this point, but I feel like I'm getting there more and more. By the way, my name now is, I'm pretty sure, Gringo, because whenever I introduce myself as Blake, sometimes people struggle, and so I just find it a lot easier and a lot more fun to just go by El Gringo. So just started introducing myself as El Gringo. Another one of my favorites was when somebody came up to me. I kept hearing this greeting, ¿Cómo andas? And this was something new to me because when I had learned Spanish in school a little bit, I learned that andas was something that you say when you're saying, yo ando en la bicicleta, or yo ando en caballo. So I responded, in ¿qué, mi bici or mi caballo? They were quite confused with that response, but we just kind of kept moving, and I did the customary seat as if I'd understood everything, but didn't understand it all. And then probably the most ridiculous story of all was when one of my friends came down to visit, and he doesn't speak really any Spanish. He speaks very little. He speaks a lot less than I do, which is saying a whole lot. And he tried to, a waiter came over to us while we were at a restaurant and asked us, said, ¿Quieres algo para tomar? And my friend wanted to respond, and I saw him looking to respond, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna let him try his Spanish out. He seems to understand the question. He might as well get his chance. And instead of responding with something that made a lot of sense, he started to respond, somos, and I was confused. Where could this possibly be going? Because this can't be the right answer. And then he goes, somos maricones. And I was, what? And the waiter's face at that point was priceless. The waiter's face just was, and he just walked off. So I looked at my buddy, I was like, why did you say somos maricones? And he's like, oh, no, I was saying somos americanos. And I said, that's still not the right answer to the question that we were asked, but that would have been a lot better than what you said. So I thus explained to him right after what he said, and he then, from then on, decided that he was just going to stick to English and no more Spanish for him. I think almost even more comical than learning Spanish has been my effort to learn salsa, because everybody dances it here so well. It's not even fair. I've seen a baby who's 1 year old who can dance it 30 times better than I am. I think you guys start dancing it before you're even born. But I still remember the first time that a girl responded to somebody else's question about how do the gringos dance after she had danced with me one time. And she responded, como burros, like donkeys. And I don't think she thought that I understood at first. And then when I started laughing, she realized that I understood perfectly well. And she apologized profusely, but it was completely accurate. And I didn't care at all. It was just a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun trying, and everybody's been so nice in teaching me that I don't care if I'm dancing like a donkey. I'm having a great time doing it. The one thing that I do want to show is my costume from Halloween. And I decided that what could be better than a gringo dressing as Juan Dalez. So yeah, that's about it to the apartment. It's great living here. I'm having a great time living with two great friends. And it keeps striking me that the phrase for the Colombian tourism industry where it says the only risk is wanting to stay, in my case, is absolutely true.